someone waits for me.
This is Ken Carpenter welcoming you to the Bing Crosby Show for Chesterfield. Produced and transcribed in Hollywood with John Scott Trotter and his orchestra, Judd Collins of the Bears, and Bing's guests, Mr. Fred Astaire and Miss Teresa Brewer. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this being Be Kind to Animals Week, we bring you Bing Crosby.
That's sweet. I love it. Thank you, Ken. Do you think that's being kind to people?
Well, I'm just worrying about animals this week.
Well, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
What is the tie-in here? How do you justify this? Why me for the Be Kind to Animals Week, huh?
Oh, Bing, it's this way. You see, I have an old dog at home,
Yes?
and he just loves your voice.
He does.
He really does.
Does he listen to the program?
Oh, the minute you come on, he's right there in front of the radio.
No kidding.
Yes. Of course, I have to fill the loudspeaker with hamburger, but he's right there in front of the radio.
Well, I don't care how we get him, just so we have listeners, boy.
You know, Bing,
You get old Rover right up there, and I'll get a little pard. Put a little pard in
Right
there.
there, yes, sir. That'll fix him. You know, Bing, my dog even smokes Chesterfields.
I remember that dog
Uh-huh.
now, yes. He's the one that used to eat Kraft cheese.
That's the one.
Yeah, used to sleep in the Philco.
Yeah. Great company dog.
Yes.
Loyal. True. Well, anyway, Bing, it's wonderful that folks think to give dogs and cats and all animals a break like
You're
this.
darn right it is. I mean that seriously. It certainly is. Now, Ken, to get on to the opening selection, we have a little thing here called Them Their Eyes. I sang this in the Coconut Grove in 1896, I think. John Scott, let's go, huh? I fell in love with you first time I looked into them, their eyes. You got a certain little cute way of flirting with them, their eyes. They make me feel so happy, they make me blue. No stalling, I'm falling, going in a big way for sweet little you. My heart is jumping, you sure started something with them there eyes. You'd better watch 'em if you're wise. They sparkle, they bubble, they're gonna get you in a whole lot of trouble. You're overworking 'em, there's danger lurking in them there eyes.
I fell in love with you first time I looked into them their eyes. You've got a certain little cute way of flirting with them their eyes. Bubble, they make me feel so happy. They make me blue. No stalling, no falling, going in a great big way for you.
My heart is jumping, you sure started something with
Them
their eyes. You'd better watch 'em if you're wise. Hey, they sparkle, they bubble, they're going to get you in a whole pack of trouble. You're overworking 'em, there's danger lurking in them. Their eyes.
Bing and Kid.
Well, you're more than kind. Ken,
Really
you
great.
are.
Well, it's not just being kind, Bing. I just happen to like the way you sing.
I'm a great fan of Agustin Lara, the Mexican composer. Here's a song he wrote as a waltz. We do it as a rumba. The stars were low over Mexico, and my heart beat so when I saw you, Maria Bonita.
Maria Bonita.
The moon was high when she passed me by. I could feel that I was in love with Maria Bonita.
Maria, Maria, Maria.
It was that night in the pale moonlight when I held her tight and I asked her to be mine forever. Since then I've never been lonely. Her reply was that she was my one and only Maria Bonita.
And all that night in the pale moonlight, when I held her tight and I asked her to be mine forever. Since then I've never been lonely, for her reply was that she was my one and only Maria Bonita, Bonita.
Stars were low over Mexico, and my heart beat so when I saw you, Maria Bonita.
Maria Bonita.
The moon was high when she passed me by. I could feel that I was in love with Maria Bonita.
Maria, Maria, Maria.
It was that night in the pale moonlight when I held her tight and I asked her to be mine forever.
Be mine, be mine, be
Since then I've never been lonely. Her reply was that she was my one and only Maria Bonita. Maria, Maria Bonita. Gracias, mil gracias, senoras and senores. Now to present our first guest, we're going to usher in here a petite, pert young lady with big brown eyes. People say I'm colorblind. They're so silly. This girl sings quite a song, Brown Eyes or No, because I caught her at Ciro's out in the Sunset Strip a couple of weeks ago, and she fractured the people out here, and I thought you folks would like to hear her. She happens to be the young lady whose recording of Music, Music, Music was such a smash hit last season. I have reference to Miss Teresa Brewer.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to welcome you to the Chesterfield program, Teresa. This is going to be a little high for you, isn't it?
Yes.
You're just a little E-flat girl, aren't you? Well, now you just relax and make yourself right at home. I want to get the microphone, everything's just right for you.
Well, I haven't done much radio work, Bing, and
No?
I'm a little nervous.
Oh, Teresa. Don't let radio frighten you. Radio's had it. It's groggy. It's just laying there. It can't hurt anybody.
Really?
No. Now, if this were television, that would be something to be frightened about.
Oh, television is wonderful.
I tell you, these kids nowadays are fearless, aren't they? You got a song for us? What is it going to be?
Yes. How could you believe me when I said I loved you when you know I've been a liar all my life?
I guess those big brown eyes just fooled me, honey. Ladies and gentlemen, the Liar song is from the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture Royal Wedding, starring Fred Astaire, Jane Powell, and Peter Lawford. Well, that's that. We got MGM's credit in before Fred Astaire even got here.
Is Fred Astaire going to be on the program?
Yes, Teresa, that's right.
Gee, you sure meet important people around here.
Isn't that true? And this is the veritable crosswords of the world, Teresa. This is the veritable crossroads of the world, Teresa. Hollywood and Vine, you know. Now, if you excuse me, I'll place you in the capable hands of Mr. Trotter and his excellent musical ensemble.
How could I believe you when you said you love me when I know you've been a liar all your life? You've had that reputation since you were a youth. I must have been insane to think you'd tell me the truth. How could I believe you when you said we'd marry when I know you'd rather hang than have a wife? You know you said I'll make you mine. You sure knew that I would go for that old line. How could I believe you when you said you love me when I know you've been a liar? Nothing but a liar. You're doggone cheating lies. Said you would love me long and Oh, baby, I must be loony to trust a lower than low two-timer like you. You said I'd have everything, a beautiful diamond ring, a car and a mink coat too. Oh, I was naive to ever believe a full of baloney phony like you. How about the time you went to Indiana? You were lying, you were down in Alabama. You said you had some business you had to complete. What you were doing, baby, you're a cat to repeat. How about the evenings you were with your mother? You were rapping with your mother, honey lamb. To think you swore our love was real. But baby, wait, let's not forget that you're a heel. How could I believe you when you said you loved me when I know you've been a liar? Nothing but a liar. Are you done? Cheat.
Isn't that wonderful? And Gary has to be in San Jose. Got Lenny here. A lot of Lenny's league. Well, that was wonderful, Teresa Brewer. You got more kick than Brewer's yeast, didn't you? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present my pal, my very dear friend, Mr. Fred Astaire.
Thank you, Bing. Thank you. Bing, I don't like to start right off with a complaint, and
Complaint? You've got a little beef
I
here,
appreciate the warmth and friendliness of your introduction, but I do think in introducing me, you should have told the people what I do. After all, this isn't television.
Fred, everybody knows what you do. You dance with Yolanda. Say, Fred? No?
I've switched partners, Bing. I'm now dancing with Mrs. Arthur Murray.
Oh, what a couple you must be. That's what I like about you folks in the dancing business, Fred. There's no jealousy. You're all well-behaved, and you all get along so well together.
Well, we don't like to step on each other's toes.
I see.
But, Bing, enough of my problems. What about you?
Yeah, what about me?
Well, when I was your guest in January, all of the United States, Canada, Alaska, the Hawaiian Islands, South America were paying tribute to you. Yeah. It was your 20th anniversary in show business, and you had been acclaimed Mr. Music.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, what are you now?
Nothing. Sic transit gloria, Fred. Fame is fleeting.
Oh, anyway, Bing, in January, you were the public's hero. There were parades, bands were playing, ticker tape was thrown from windows.
Ah, yes.
And people cheered. Your name was on everybody's lips. The whole country was in an uproar.
Now, Fred, what are you getting at?
Simply this, Crosby. That Mr. Music stuff took the edge off General MacArthur's reception.
Oh, Fred, you jest.
What else?
Now, look here, I want to tell you something. Before we go any further, and just to show you I can turn the other cheek, I want to tell you how much I enjoyed your new picture, Royal Pudding. I mean, Royal Wedding.
Royal...
We got a great audience in the band, Fred. A nice audience here, too.
Royal Pudding is my next one.
But regarding your current one, Fred, I want you to know that I'm a very good customer of yours. I went to the theater 3 times. I paid 3 admissions when Royal Wedding was playing at Beverly Hills.
Oh, 3 times? You must have enjoyed it.
Well, I finally did. The 3rd time I stayed awake.
Oh, gee, Bing. I never fall asleep during your pictures. Of course, I have to crunch my popcorn pretty loud and...
That's where I made my mistake, Fred. You know, when I slept through your picture, you know what happened? Instead of buying popcorn in the lobby, I went for a cup of Ovaltine. Woke up with a sweeper.
Anyhow, Bing, I'm glad you finally saw my picture.
I certainly
And
did.
Speaking of pictures, have you seen the Lemon Drop Kid?
Oh, Bob Hope's picture. Oh, yes. I got a nice soft load seat for that one.
Yes, you have, haven't you?
Well, it's just this gimp, Fred. It isn't very form-fitting. It's a bad angle you're getting me. I'm really not so adipose any longer. But regarding the Lemon Drop Kid, I'm glad to report that I napped through that one without the aid of Ovaltine. I needed nothing.
I didn't. Oh, I didn't. And I don't like to be catty, Bing, but I'd like to say something about the Lemon Drop Kid.
Well, speak freely. Speak out.
Well, Hope plays the part of a racetrack tout, Bing, and he gives people phony tips on horses, and he chisels money from a pretty blonde.
That's the story of his life.
Well, if it's true, I guess it's all right.
Certainly. Say, speaking of racehorses, Fred, how are your horses doing?
My horses always do all right.
Inferring that mine don't, I presume?
Well, that's the story of your life.
I'd sure like to know how to get a hold of a good racehorse.
Well, in order to do that, you must first know what has 4 legs and runs.
Fred, I know what has 4 legs and runs.
What?
2 girls wearing nylon hose. But, Fred, we shouldn't bicker. No kidding. I invited you down here for a definite reason. You know what I want to do? This has long been a heartfelt desire of mine. I'd like to do a vaudeville act with you. I want you to be my partner.
Well, what do you need with me? You've got Gary.
No, he's all right, but I want this to be a flashy dance act.
Well, then why do I need you?
Well, Fred, we're going to do some songs and some jokes, too.
Where are we going to get jokes?
Well, we got that one we just pulled, that smasher about the 4 legs and the nylon hose.
That one, yeah.
That's a 5-minute laugh in some sessions, you know?
Just so you say it. I'm not going.
I wished I hadn't. Now, tell you what. We'll throw our act together, we'll get something whipped up, and we'll break it in at the Palladium in London.
Well, let's play safe and try the act out in Oxnard.
Oxnard folks are here. The bus is in, huh? No, Fred, we don't want to stop for any small time. The big thing now for everybody is to play Europe. We've got to book the Palladium.
Well, if we're going to do a vaudeville act, we got to get some billing.
Yeah, how do we bill this act? It should be simple. Something like Bing Crosby and Associate.
That would be all right, only my name doesn't happen to be Associate.
I've got here. How about Bing and Fred, What More Can Be Said?
You keep putting your name first.
Alphabetical, you know. Of course, if you've got a better idea, I'd be receptive. I'd listen.
Well, how's this for billing? Fred and Bing, better than the thing.
It's a little modest, don't you think? A little too reticent. How about Crosby and Astaire? Such talent is rare.
Rare?
Sure, rare.
Well, let's face it, Bing. We've been kicking around long enough to be well done.
Well, let's make it medium rare, then.
Okay. But I can't understand why you want to get a vaudeville act together and play Great Britain.
Fred, don't you see? This is our golden opportunity. If we're a hit over there, we'll make a triumphal return to New York City.
What happens
Well,
then?
in New York, you know what happens? We reach the very epitome, the very top in show business.
We do?
Yes, we do a guest shot on Bob Hope's television show. Oh, we got a few jokes, Fred. You can dance. Now what we need is a good comedy song. Say, there's a new one out now, Fred. Freddie Martin's got a wonderful record on it called Never Been Kissed. You know that number, Fred? Have you heard it?
Well, I guess I know it as well as you do.
Then we're in pretty bad shape. John Scott, would you mind giving a couple of vaudeville boys a little rehearsal here? Oh, I know a gal who's a treat to the eye.
The boys always whistle when she passes by.
She's out every night,
Not a night has she missed.
and her mother says that she's never been kissed. What? Never been kissed. Never been kissed. It's hard to believe, but she's never been kissed.
One night she went out for a row on the lake. The guy she was with dropped the oars by mistake. They drifted for hours before they were missed, but still she insists that she's never been kissed.
Never been kissed. Never been kissed. It's hard to believe that she's never been kissed. A wealthy young man took a liking to her. He gave her some presents of jewelry and fur, including a diamond as big as your fist. Yet she'll take an oath that she's never been kissed. Never been kissed, never been kissed. It's hard to believe that she's never been kissed.
Now there's a new book they're all talking about called Lessons in Love. You have read it, no doubt. I hear that it just made the bestseller list. Well, it's written by her and she's never been kissed.
Never been kissed, never been kissed. It's hard to believe that she's never been kissed. She married the best catch in town, by the way, and said to the girls as she threw her bouquet, just keep the boys guessing, always insist that you are a girl who has never been kissed. The end of this story is sad, and here's why. I saw her today with a tear in her eye. I asked her the reason why she was so blue, and the answer she gave me we'll pass on to you. Never been kissed, never been kissed. She married a man who has never been kissed.
Thank you. You were very effective, very effective.
Say, Bing, that new book we've been telling the folks about, Tobaccoland USA, is the greatest thing I've seen.
Oh, it's a great book, all right, Ken. That's why every smoker ought to read it.
Looking over my copy again last night, I noticed that right about now, throughout the South, they're setting out tobacco seedlings for this year's crop.
Well, here's a song, folks, that I recorded some years ago with the Dorsey Boys. I see it's being revived. If I told a lie, if I made you cry, when I said goodbye, I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart, dear. I apologize if I've caused you pain. I know that I'm to blame. Must have been insane, believe me. From the bottom of my heart, dear, I apologize. I realize I've been unfair to you. Please let me make amends. Don't say that you forgot the love we knew. After all, we were more than friends. If I've made you blue, I've had heartaches too. Now I beg of you, forgive me. From the bottom of my heart, dear, I apologize. I've had heartaches too. Now I beg of you, forgive me. From the bottom of my heart, dear, I apologize.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And now my thanks to Teresa Brewer and to Fred Astaire for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Bing. I loved it. Who's with you next week?
Next week, Fred, well, now, you're not going to believe this, but this is the gospel, Fred. I have absolutely no idea who's going to be with us next week. Nobody tells me anything. Confusion reigns.
Oh, that ought to be a wonderful show.
You think so? Can't tell, it might be one of our best, Fred, and thank you for coming down tonight.
Folks, this Sunday is Mother's Day. The Bing Crosby Show, presented by Chesterfield, was produced and transcribed in Hollywood by Bill Morrow and Murdo McKenzie. And I've just got a flash that Bing's guests next week will be the mighty Burl Ives and the very talented Cass County Boys.